Have you ever felt that your life was too difficult to change? Have you ever lived in a place so dark that you could not see the stars? Is it possible for a person with no shoes and no books to become a leader of millions? What would you do if the world around you was breaking into pieces? Life is like a long, winding road. Sometimes the road is covered in thick mud. Sometimes the road climbs high mountains where the air is very thin and cold. We often think that great people are born with everything they need. We think they have money, teachers, and luck. But what if greatness is actually grown in the dirt? Today, we will learn about a man who started with nothing. He had only a spark of hope in his heart. Hello, my dear friends. It is a peaceful day, and I am so glad you are here with me. Please find a quiet place to sit. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the stillness in the air. You are here to learn. You are here to grow. Today, we are going to practice English by listening to a very special story. We are not just learning new words. We are learning about a life that changed the world forever. Stories are like windows. They let us see into the past. They help us understand our own lives better. When we listen to a story, our minds become quiet and open. If you find this story helpful, please subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us reach more students who want to learn English. We want to share this calm way of learning with the world. Please also leave a comment. I love to hear your thoughts. Now, let us close our eyes. Let us travel back in time. We are going to a small wooden cabin in the deep woods. Let us begin the amazing story of Abraham Lincoln. A long time ago, in the year 1809, a baby was born in a tiny house. This house was not made of bricks or stone. It was a log cabin. It was made of rough wood from the forest. It had only one small room. The floor was just the cold, hard earth. This baby was named Abraham Lincoln. Abraham's family was very poor. They did not have many clothes. They did not have much food. Life in the wilderness was very hard. Young Abraham had to work from the time he was very small. He helped his father chop wood. He helped carry water from the creek. His hands were rough. His back was often tired and sore. In those days, there were no big schools in the woods. Abraham did not have many teachers. In his whole life, he went to school for less than 1 year. But Abraham had a secret hunger. He was hungry for knowledge. He loved books more than anything else in the world. He treated books like precious gold. Imagine a tall, thin boy sitting by the fire at night. The only light comes from the orange flames. He is reading a book he borrowed from a neighbor miles away. He reads every word slowly. He writes sentences in the dirt to remember them. He knew that books were the key to a different life. He knew that even if his body was in a small cabin, his mind could travel anywhere. But life was also full of deep sadness. When Abraham was only 9 years old, his mother became very sick. She died soon after. This was a dark shadow in his life. He felt a great loss. He felt a great loss. He felt alone in the big forest. Have you ever lost something you loved very much? Have you ever felt like a small light in a very dark room? Abraham carried this sadness with him. It made his heart soft and kind. It made him care for others who suffered. He spent his teenage years working in the fields. He was very tall and very strong. He could swing an axe better than anyone. People in the woods knew him as a hard worker, but he was also a dreamer. He would sit under a tree and read for hours. He wanted to understand the world beyond the trees. He wanted to know how laws were made. He wanted to know why some people were free and others were not. The woods were quiet, but Abraham's mind was loud with questions. He wondered about the big cities. He wondered about the great rivers. He was a boy of the soil, but his heart belonged to the future. He did not know it yet, but the wilderness was preparing him. The hard work made him strong. The books made him wise. The sadness made him human. As Abraham grew up, he became a young man. He was very tall, nearly 2 meters. He had a very long neck and very long arms. People called him Abe. He tried many different jobs because he wanted to learn. He worked on a flatboat on the Great Mississippi River. He worked in a small shop in a village. He even worked as a postman. But something inside him was changing. The turning point came when Abe traveled down the river to a city called New Orleans. There, he saw something that changed his heart forever. He saw a market where people were being sold. This was called slavery. He saw men and women in chains. He saw children being pulled away from their mothers. He saw the pain and the fear in their eyes. This moment was like a bolt of lightning in his soul. He felt a deep, cold shiver. He knew in his heart that this was wrong. He knew that no human should own another human. He looked at the chains and felt a great anger, but it was a quiet anger. It was an anger that turned into a promise. He whispered to himself that if he ever had the chance, he would hit that system hard. He returned from that trip a different man. He decided to study the law. He did not go to a university. He did not have a professor or a classroom. He bought old law books and read them by himself. He walked many miles just to borrow a book from a friend. He studied while he walked the dusty roads. He studied while he ate his simple meals. He wanted to use his voice to help people. He wanted to help people who had no voice of their own. Soon, people began to notice this tall man with the honest face. He was not a handsome man. He had messy hair and deep, sad eyes. But when he spoke, the world became quiet. He spoke with simple words. He spoke with the truth. People began to call him Honest Abe. They trusted him because he never lied. They saw that he was a man of the people. He did not act like he was better than anyone else. He remembered the cold floor of his cabin. He remembered his mother's voice. This was the moment he stepped out of the woods and into the light of history. He was ready to fight for justice. But something unexpected was about to happen. The path ahead was much harder than he imagined. Life was not easy for Honest Abe, even after he became a lawyer. He wanted to make the world better, but he faced many failures. He lost several elections for the government. He failed in his business. He felt like he was walking against a very strong wind. Sometimes he felt so sad that he did not want to get out of bed. But he never stopped trying. He believed that if you have a good purpose, you must keep going. He believed that failure was just a resting place on the road to success. Eventually, his hard work paid off. People across the country began to hear his name. They heard about the tall man who spoke about freedom. In the year 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected President of the United States, but he did not have time to celebrate his victory. As soon as he became president, the country began to break into two pieces. The North and the South were very angry at each other. The main problem was still slavery. The South wanted to keep slavery. The North wanted to end it. The country was like a house that was splitting in half. A terrible war began. It was called the Civil War. It was a war between brothers. It was a war between friends. Imagine the heavy weight on Abraham's shoulders. He was the leader of a country that was killing itself. Every day he received news of young men dying on the battlefield. Every day he saw the lists of the dead. He walked the halls of the White House late at night. He could not sleep. He wept for his country. He looked much older every year. His face became full of deep lines and shadows. He was a man of peace, but he had to lead a long and bloody war. He felt the pain of every mother who lost a son. He felt the hunger of every soldier in the cold. Have you ever had to stay strong when everything around you was breaking? Have you ever felt that the world was too heavy to carry? This was Abraham's greatest struggle. Many people hated him. They called him names. They said he was a bad leader. But he stayed in the center of the storm. He kept his eyes on the goal. He wanted to keep the country together. He wanted to make sure that freedom did not die. The war lasted for 4 long, terrible years. It was a test of his soul. During the long years of the war, Abraham Lincoln went through a deep transformation. He was not just a politician anymore. He became a father to the whole nation. He realized that the war was about more than just land or laws. It was about the soul of humanity. He spent much time in deep thought and prayer. He made a very brave decision in the middle of the war. He signed a paper called the Emancipation Proclamation. This paper was like a small light in a very dark room. It said that millions of enslaved people were now free. He knew this would make his enemies even more angry. He knew it was a dangerous move, but he did not care about the danger. He cared about what was right. He watched the sun rise on a new morning for his country. He saw that the war was changing. It was now a war for the freedom of all people. He also gave a very famous speech at a place called Gettysburg. The speech was very short. It lasted only 2 minutes. Many people thought it was too short, but those 2 minutes changed how people thought about freedom forever. He spoke about a new birth of freedom. He spoke about a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. His words were like music to the hearts of those who suffered. He learned that a leader must be patient. He learned that a leader must be willing to forgive. Even when people said terrible things about him, he stayed kind. He did not want to punish the South. He wanted to welcome them back like family. He said, "I do not like that man. I must get to know him better." He transformed his anger into understanding. He showed the world that a great leader does not need to be mean or loud. A great leader needs to be firm like an oak tree, but soft like a summer breeze. He became a symbol of hope. He was a man who had seen the worst of humanity, but still believed in the best. He was no longer the simple boy from the woods. He was a man who held the heart of a nation in his hands. He was ready to build a new world, but the journey was almost over. What is the big idea of Abraham Lincoln's life? Why do we still talk about him today? It is the idea that all people are created equal. This sounds very simple to us now, but back then it was a revolutionary idea. Abraham believed that every human being deserves a chance. He believed that every person has the right to dream. He also taught us about the power of words. Abraham did not use big, fancy words to show off. He used simple words that a farmer or a child could understand. He knew that the truth does not need a mask. He showed us that honesty is the most powerful tool a person can have. He proved that you can win an argument without raising your voice. You can win with logic and love. Another big lesson from his life is resilience. Resilience is the ability to get back up when you fall. Abraham failed many times. He lost his mother at a young age. He lost his favorite sister. He lost his children to sickness. He lost elections. He lost money. But he never gave up on himself. He knew that a failure is just a lesson on the way to success. He believed that if you are walking through hell, you must keep walking. He believed that even the poorest boy can become the greatest president. All you need is hard work, books, and a heart that stays true. Do you feel like you are failing today? Do you feel like your dreams are too far away from you? Remember the boy in the log cabin. Remember the man who studied by the fire. Your current situation is not your final destination. You have the power to learn. You have the power to change. You have the power to be honest in a world that is often not. This is the big idea. This is the lesson for all of us. The war finally ended in 1865. The North had won, and slavery was ending. The country began to come back together slowly. Abraham Lincoln had saved the United States. He was a hero to millions. But he did not get to see the country grow old and peaceful. Shortly after the war ended, Abraham was taken away from us. He was sitting in a theater when a man who hated him ended his life. The whole world cried for him. Even his enemies knew they had lost a great man. A long train carried his body back to his home in Illinois. Thousands of people stood by the tracks in the rain to say goodbye. Today, Abraham Lincoln's face is carved in giant stone on the mountain called Mount Rushmore. His statue sits in a beautiful temple in Washington, D.C. People from all over the world go there to see him. They look up at his large stone face and they feel a sense of peace. They read his words on the walls and they feel inspired. His legacy is freedom. Because of his courage, millions of people were given their lives back. They were able to start their own families and dream their own dreams. His legacy is also a style of leadership. He showed us that you can be powerful and humble at the same time. He showed us that kindness is not a weakness, it is a strength. When you see a picture of Abraham Lincoln, do not just see a man from the past. See a mirror. See the potential inside of you. He was just a human being. He felt fear. He felt pain. He felt doubt. But he chose to be brave. He chose to be honest. He was a simple man who chose to do extraordinary things. His story is a gift to every person who wants to make the world a little bit better. It is a story that will never truly end. We have come to the end of our journey through the life of Abraham Lincoln. I hope your heart feels a little warmer now. Abraham started in the dirt and ended in the stars. He proves that it does not matter where you start. It only matters where you are going. As you go about your day, remember Honest Abe. Try to be a little more patient with others. Try to read a book instead of watching a screen. Try to be kind to someone who is struggling. Learning English is a part of your own journey to greatness. Every word you learn is a new tool in your hand. Every sentence you speak is a bridge to another person. You are building your own log cabin of knowledge. It might be hard work. Your back might feel tired. But remember the boy by the fire. He did not give up, and you should not either. You have a story to tell too. Thank you for spending this time with me. It is a true joy to help you learn English through these meaningful stories. I'm very proud of you for listening all the way to the end. Now, I want to hear from you. What part of Abraham Lincoln's life surprised you the most? Was it his poor beginning? Was it his love for books? Or was it his great courage during the war? Please write your answer in the comments below. I read every single one of your comments. It makes our community feel like a small, warm family. If you enjoyed this peaceful story, please click the like button. It helps other learners find this video. And do not forget to subscribe for more stories like this one. Share this video with a friend who needs a little hope today. Until our next story, stay calm, stay curious, and keep practicing. Goodbye for now, my friends.